to let them do everything. And God says, I ain't doing everything for you. I told you you're going to expand, but you've got to enlarge your mindset. You've got to get yourself ready to go where I'm taking you. You've got to get yourself prepared with intentional acts of effort. It says, enlarge your tent, stretch forth your curtains. I like that because I got to hurry up. Lord, I can't finish all this. Let me just try to get through verse 2. Lord, he says, enlarge your tent. See, the tent was the part that they would live in, but the curtain was what covered the tent. It's no use in having bigger place if you can't have bigger covering to cover it up. Right. So he says, enlarge your tent, stretch forth your curtains, cover everything up. But also he says, lengthen your cords. You have got to provide room for expansion. The cord is what fastens the curtain to the ground. He says you've got to pull on the cord. Good God. Now I want to give you the right picture here. You can't pull a cord going the same direction where you've been comfortable. To lengthen the cord, you got to pull in the opposite direction. And some of us are going to miss our expansion because we still trying to be comfortable. Lord, but you were comfortable in the old size place. But to stretch it, you got to pull in the opposite direction. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So lengthen your cords, pull them down, anchor them, because even though you're expanding, you still have to have some parameters. So you can't be so free that you have no boundaries. You can't be so going in new places and so liberated in the freedom of God that you find yourself not having any parameters. You're lengthening your cord, but still you're maintaining some parameters. One of the biggest problems in the church today is folk got a piece of the real liberty of God, and they've gone too far with the liberty God has really given unto them. Lord have mercy, that ain't in my notes. That's the problem that we have. In the old church, we couldn't do nothing. Everything was a sin. Lord, look out the window the wrong way, it was a sin. But now all of a sudden we got so much liberty. Now once again, with everything being said, now nothing is a sin. Everything is just your issue. It's just your minor scratch. No, baby, some stuff just ain't right. And if you don't recognize it, will kill you in your liberty because you have no parameters in your life. Oh yeah, he's not gonna strike you down because you didn't pray every day at 6 a.m. But when you stop praying, you stop talking to him, you lose your power. Lord have mercy. So all of a sudden he says, lengthen your cords, pull in the opposite direction to stretch the place you're going to live in. But then he says, strengthen your stakes. My God, I was trying to understand why is it that you have to strengthen the stakes? Well, and I began to think about a few of my contraptions I made in my day, trying to be a little outdoorsman, crafty kind of guy. And when you would stretch stuff so far because of the tension on the rope, you had to drive the stake further in the ground because more tension pulling, trying to go back to a comfortable position. So I've got to drive the stake in further to hold the tension at the right position. I hope I'm not over somebody's head. That's why some of us can't hold to what God expands, because we don't anchor, we don't strengthen the stakes. If it's not much tension on the rope, you don't need to drive it in but 2 inches. But when you stretch that thing, you got to drive it down all the way almost to the ground to keep it from coming back up and haunting you. So he says, even in this expanding time, the tug is going to increase. And because the tug increases, you've got to make sure you strengthen your stakes. Lord have mercy. Because, and I feel God telling me, some of us in our expansion time, it's going to put more pressure on what you established as an anchor in your life. And if you don't prepare for the tension on the anchor, it's going to break in your expanding position. Lord have mercy. But let me go ahead and let y'all out of here, because I'm only happy by myself. But I told you I can't finish this. But then look at verse 2. He says, enlarge the place of thy tent. Let them stretch forth the curtains of thine habitation. Spare not, lengthen thy cords, and strengthen thy stakes. God says, get ready, because in the time of expansion, it's going to put pressure on what was to become what is. But somebody says, I don't understand, Pastor, because you're talking all over my head. I don't think I can really be expanded. But that's why I said, even me, Lord, because even in your most barren of situations, even in your most disgraceful and shameful of positions, you know, the stuff you don't want anybody to know has happened. You don't want nobody to know that you and your wife is on the rocks. Y'all ain't gonna say nothing. You don't want nobody to know that your job is about to lay you off. You don't want nobody to know you 3 months late on your mortgage, and they